Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach.
This is Nacho Ordinary Fitness Podcast.
I'm Sarah, and I'm Nacho Typical Fitness Expert.
And I'm Caleigh, and I'm Nacho Average Fitness Beginner.
We're here to spice up your fitness journey
with some humor, a little knowledge, and a couple glasses of wine.
We're here to prove that getting fit doesn't have to suck.
So whether you're a seasoned athlete or a couch potato,
we've got some tips, tricks, and unconventional advice for you.
Let's redefine fitness together
and learn to balance fitness and fun.
So Sarah.
So Caleigh.
We've talked a lot about healthy habits.
Yeah. I mean, it is the name of my book too, by the way.
We love them.
You know.
Did you write it?
I wrote my book.
We love our healthy habits.
I highly recommend it. Go buy it on Amazon.
So I came across a while back. I came across an article it was on hackspirit.com. I'm not super familiar with.
I'm not either.
If you really want to change your life, say goodbye to these 12 behaviors.
That's an interesting tagline or title.
A little clickbait.
That's total clickbait.
But yeah, feeling and stuck in a rut and you need to change. These are some small tweaks that can make a big difference in your life.
So it was an interesting read.
I thought it was interesting enough to put it down on our list and
talk about it.
Do an episode about it.
Okay.
All right. So
I have not seen these 12 behaviors yet either. So we're doing this live. We're just going to roll through it.
We are.
Okay.
And I think we've talked a little bit about some of these, but I think all of these are always worth revisiting.
For sure.
So number one, we'll just go through. There's 12 of them, so we got to get through them.
Okay.
Number one is procrastination.
I agree with that.
What's your experience with, is that an issue you feel like you have?
I don't have it, but my husband has it hardcore.
You're just born different.
I'm like, no. Get it crossed off your list so you don't have to worry about it anymore. Like, why leave things hanging out there like that? Like, it is so obnoxious.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the ADHD or what, but I am a chronic procrastinator to the point where I have even convinced myself that I work better under pressure.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I've noticed that like when it comes to you actually having to write the descriptions for the episodes. Yeah. So Caleigh's our resident writer of the descriptions of the episodes when they come out. And so
do you ever get nervous
if it was me? No. If it was me, I would sit down for the season and I would do them all probably in like one sitting and be like, check that off my list. Yep. They're done. I will listen to them all. Whatever. Caleigh literally waits until like sometimes after she's fallen asleep and went to bed and wakes up at 11 o'clock at night.
One time.
I was like, I forgot to write the description. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That happened one time.
You know what you should do? There should be 1 week where you actually write 2.
Yep.
And then just get 1 week ahead.
Yep.
And that way, if you need a little wiggle room, anyways, I'm not telling you what to do.
But
you're not actually asking me for advice. So
the thing that I know about procrastination is that it's not that I work better under pressure. It's eventually it leads to more stress and probably I don't do as good a job as I could have done.
Right.
Had I done it a little bit more in advance.
Right. Duh.
So stop procrastinating. So you don't procrastinate.
Again, I had like a very simple solution. Just 1 week, do 2. Yeah. And then just write it for the next.
Very simple.
Stay 1 week ahead.
Yeah.
Not hard. No, it honestly drives me absolutely nuts. Like I used to write a blog. It was called fastonomics.com. And it was all these little tips and tricks of life that I would figure out when I was either traveling for work or I was doing fitness competitions, but you still kind of come up with like nuggets of information that can be helpful for people. So I was writing all these blogs about these random things. And one of my blog posts when I was doing fastonomics.com was, if it is going to take you 5 minutes or less,
then do it.
Just do it right now. Like it is so obvious. And sometimes even for me, I'll be like, I'll do that later. And I still will stop and be like, okay, how long is that really going to take me? Okay. It's only probably going to take me 2 minutes to run out to the shop really quick, grab it and come back in. Why am I adding that to my to-do list? That's dumb. And I'll talk myself out of stuff like that throughout the day. And I do think it helps not get super far behind or backed up or stressed out.
And I'll even do like, cause we live out in the country. So I have our trash dumpster, which gets picked up once a month, where I think most people are used to like weekly trash pickup. Right. So we have a dumpster, but it's clear on the other side of the farm. And so we have to walk our trash bags all the way out there. Usually like if I empty the trash in the kitchen, I'll just set it by the front door. And then sometimes it'll end up being 2 bags by the front door. And I'm like, all day, I'm like, why don't I just take it out?
Yeah.
But I just don't. I just still don't. And then it starts to like stink.
That would help you get your extra steps in.
Yeah, eventually I do it once I have to.
Right.
Once I'm about to put the third trash
Oh my
bag.
God. You're like, okay, now there's more than like one on one hand. Like,
But like, I wouldn't be like, I get so frustrated with myself. I'm like, why don't I just do this? And then it's done. And I don't have to feel like shit about the fact that I'm not doing it. I know all this in my head.
I'm glad you've come to this conclusion on your own.
All right. So we tackled that one. Number 2 is negative self-talk. Do you have any experience with that? Do you talk to yourself negatively?
No.
You don't?
I mean, there are some insecurities that will pop up every now and then. I'll be like, why is this making me nervous? And it'll be some core memory from like childhood or adolescence or high school or whatever, that there'll be some insecurities that will pop up, but I've never really had a lot of like negative self-talk.
Wow.
In fact, I kind of go the other way where it's, if they can do it, I can too.
Yeah.
If they can do that, I can figure that out.
Love that for you.
What do you say to yourself?
A lot of bad things.
Wow, we are.
I remember one time, not too long ago, I was talking to my husband and we were having just like one of those really like good talks. And I was like, and I need to start working on like liking myself. And he was like, you don't like yourself? And I was like,
how long have we been married?
I was like, do you like yourself? What do you mean? Like, no, I don't like myself. Like, and he was like, that's really messed up.
Yeah.
I'm like, it is?
Yeah, it is. You Caleigh.
How does one like oneself? Like, I don't know what that
This is new to me. Please teach me your ways.
So I have been working a lot on this.
That's
and
good.
like
I love that.
Especially with getting into like, I'm a fitness podcaster now.
You
I don't know
are?
if you've heard.
Yeah.
But I'm like dealing with like the imposter syndrome of that.
Right.
I'm like, I don't belong in that space, And
I don't either, but I like that's why this is different. Like we're not just talking heads and getting on complete soapboxes. I mean, we are, but
that's absolutely what we're doing.
But it's in a conversational kind of fun way.
Well, and I think the podcast is good because for me, it's kind of like a thing where I'm like, if I kind of make fun of myself first,
it makes it good.
Nobody else can, then it doesn't matter what anybody else does. I already did it. You can't tell me, you can't hurt me. You can't tell me anything.
Well,
I haven't already told myself.
I do think you have thicker skin than I do.
Oh, for sure. I don't get offended very easily.
Yeah. I mean,
I spend all day long offending myself.
Like, so it's not possible.
So you're not going to offend me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're like actually that you're working on liking yourself.
I am working on that.
Or working on positive self-talk. Mm-hmm.
And just and doing things for myself that I never felt I was worthy of.
Right.
Trying to love myself to the point of like, well, I need to take care of myself the way that I take care of the people that I love.
For sure. Yep.
So that's been a new thing. I'm trying.
I love that. That is well said. We definitely are wired completely different. We are.
Number 3.
I'm kind of like, I am all about me.
I know. I love that for you. I want to be more like that. People like themselves.
That is one thing where that word can't bothers me. It's always bothered me because it's one of those things where I'm like, you're capable. It's possible. Mm-hmm. Just say, I don't want to.
Yes.
And if you own it, then it's okay. Yeah. But it's this like,
I can't. And I've always told myself, that's my get at it, like letting myself off the hook. I can't do this. Yeah. I can't do that. I've always been really bad at math. Always. And I've always been like, and I would tell my husband, I can't do math. And he's like, well, you can.
Yeah, there we go.
And like, I kind of get what he means.
Right. Yes, you can.
It's very hard for me.
Yeah.
But I can.
Yeah. Or you could say, I don't want to because it's hard.
I don't want to.
Think. Right. Yeah.
Certainly do not want to.
But there's an ownership that comes to that that I do think makes a big difference if you're trying to like turn the boat. If you're somebody that has that negative self-talk and you're always telling yourself that you can't, you just got to own the fact that you don't want to. Well,
we talked a couple episodes
about
it's not
like big enough a priority.
Right. We talked a little bit about the nutrition and how like I have not taken that next step into like super dialing in on that or like making that a big priority in my life. But I feel better saying, I just don't want to right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
you can't.
It's a little bit more freeing.
It 100% is.
Than saying,
just own it.
I can't do that.
Just own it. Take the ownership of it.
I don't want to eat vegetables.
Wait, there you go. I don't want to either. They're good for you though, but
you love your veggies.
Wait, so okay, did we just get through number 3?
No, we have not
two?
hit number 3 yet.
Okay, so that was just number 2.
Number 2, negative self-talk.
Okay, so before number 3, we're gonna take a really quick break, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Nacho Fit Coach. Okay,
All
so
right.
now we're back. Number 3 it is.
Number 3.
This episode might end up being a 2 or 3-parter.
I hope not.
For us to get through.
Let's try and get through these. Number 3, fear of failure. I don't feel like probably has been an issue for you.
No.
Love that for you.
It's you have to learn. I mean, failure is just a part of learning. You just learn what doesn't work.
I think a lot of people struggle with this.
I think so, for sure.
And I get it. But
You have a fear of failure?
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If I go into something thinking I'm probably going to fail it.
Well, you're
But
going
like tonight,
you're attracting the universe then. That
we
you're
just
gonna fail.
hung on the doorway and
It's true. You told me you couldn't do it.
I
You
did not
beat
think
me.
I could do it. I did not a bone in my body wanted to do it.
You didn't think
But I did want to beat you.
You didn't think you could beat me in the sit-ups either.
No.
And you're like, I can't do this.
Right.
Can't.
So
Okay.
if failure is a normal part of life, and I think
In every part, like every
it's normal
area of
You're
it.
going
100%.
to fail.
Yeah. It's just, what do you do with that information
Right.
once you failed?
Just quit being a little bitch.
Right. Put your big girl panties on and be like, all right, well, that didn't work.
Yep,
What?
I
How
failed.
can we go make this
Right.
work?
Do I want to try it again or do I not? Do I say I tried it, it didn't work out, I'm going to move on?
And then it's still a choice, though.
Right.
You're saying, I don't
Yeah, you
want.
have the control.
I don't want to try. Control it. Own it.
Yep. Number 4, people pleasing. How do we feel about that?
I mean, I'm probably on the fence with this one. I think there are probably different areas of my life where I have in my life done more people pleasing. But as I've gotten older, I feel like once I hit my 40s, 30s,
Yeah.
I kind of stopped caring
Yeah.
a little bit.
I think that's typical.
It is. I think there's, different things you'll see about the different generations about like when you hit your 20s versus your 30s, your 40s and whatever else. But yeah, once I hit my 30s, I definitely was like, I don't really care.
Yeah. I don't feel like that's a big issue for me because I generally don't.
No.
Yeah. And I think people kind of know, like, don't ask me to watch your kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm pretty good at being like, I will help people out
Right.
when they need help,
Yeah.
but I'm not one to be walked on.
No. Well, and I believe that boundaries are very healthy and you have to understand yourself and there's nothing wrong with having boundaries
Right.
of like what you enjoy or what you're capable of or whatever else. And you know what? People can stand on their own and they can find it. And you know what? But own it. Don't feel guilty about the decision or whatever else, but just like be confident in the decision.
Right.
Own
Absolutely.
it and be like, they can deal with it. But no, thank you.
Yeah. I don't feel like I struggle too much with that,
I know.
but I see a lot of people doing it. So if you do this, just stop.
Yeah, it's a behavior to stop.
Just stop.
no more.
Comparison to others. Number 5.
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
Yeah, it is harmful to your self-esteem, your self-confidence. I don't know. I feel like I tend to have a pretty good handle on this most of the time. I know that everything that people put out there is fake. And so I don't.
A lot of it's edited.
Yeah.
But I've also seen a lot of stuff that's real, though.
Yeah.
And then, so for me, it'll be, if I do see that comparison, right now, I will just stop for that second and be like, okay, but I also know the things that they're doing to get to that result. And am I willing to do that right now?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, then I'm just owning where I'm at. And I could be like, power to you. Good.
Right.
Good for you.
Right.
Love that. I know what that takes. So I can still be positive and then a cheerleader versus somebody that puts a hat on and then all of a sudden they're jealous and they're mean and they're angry.
Yeah,
or
that is
whatever,
what
and
it
then they
leads
lash
to,
out
for sure.
which is not healthy in any regard. So it's just, but yeah, if you have that comparison, you just take that step back and be like, but am I doing what they're doing?
Right.
And the answer is usually no.
Right.
And then you should just either own your actions or change them and then move on.
Agreed.
Don't be mean.
Don't be mean. Quit being mean. Number 6. Oh, perfectionism.
Oh, I do not have that. Nope. I'm like, just progress over perfection. Like,
I would have pegged you as a perfectionist early on.
No way.
But now that I've gotten to know you a little bit more, I no longer.
She has no idea what she's doing, and she just goes.
You just do everything to 60%. but you do a lot of things.
Yeah. No, I don't have to make things perfect.
No. I don't know. Sometimes I think in a sense I do struggle with this because I think we've talked about like the ADHD and how like I can't get started on something unless I feel like I can complete it to perfection.
Or is that a failure thing?
I think it's more perfectionism.
Is it?
Maybe a little bit of both. I got a lot going on.
I mean, you can still have that like, paralysis by analysis. Like you're overthinking stuff and then you're just expecting that perfect outcome. And I do not have that at all. I'm just like, let's go. We can do it. We can figure it out. Like, it's fine. Like, let's just keep moving forward. We'll get there.
Yeah. I think the perfectionism and the fear of failure probably go hand in hand.
Yeah, I would guess so for the most part.
We are going to cut to a break real quick.
Hey y'all, thank you for listening. This is show producer Audio Allen. While the girls are taking a break, and I kind of need one too, like, follow, and subscribe. Stick around, we'll be right back.
All right, we're back. We're on number 7, dwelling on the past.
Oh, if I do it, it's pretty short lived. Like it'll be until I go to bed that night, and then it's like it erases. And
wow.
I'll be like, all right.
So you don't lay in bed at night and think about like that one time you walk through your high school with underwear static hung to the back of your shirt?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Regularly?
You don't replay every social interaction you had throughout the day?
No, do you?
Every single one.
Really?
Oh yeah.
At night before bed?
Absolutely.
Oh my word.
What I said, what I should have said, what they thought about what I said. Yeah.
Is that exhausting?
Mm-hmm. It really is. And then I saw on TikTok one time somebody was like, hey, listen, it's not normal to have conversations in your head that already happened. I was like, what?
You're like, that is totally normal. Duh. Don't you tell me what's normal and not normal.
Oh, yeah. Past mistakes, regrets, grudges. You're not a grudge holder, are you?
No, actually. I mean, I think I went through periods of time where I did, but anymore, I just really heavily believe in karma.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, if that was ill, like if you had that intention, karma's a bitch and it's going to come back and get you. I don't hold it personally because I do think the universe is going to come back and take care of it.
Well, and holding on to it really is just hurting you.
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, if you got pent up stuff that you're dealing with, I mean, that's just elevating your stress levels. I think the longer you hold on to that, I mean, it is not worth it. People make mistakes. Yep. People need to move on. Like, and you know what? If somebody is chronically just a terrible person, I just am not going to choose to spend time with them. Yep. But like what they do with the rest of their life or who talks to them or like, I don't really care. I got way more things to be doing with my time. Yep. Better things. I don't think about it. No, I don't. Karma. I just believe in karma. Yeah. And my motto, like if I was ever to get a tattoo, which I have no tattoos. Do you have a tattoo?
No.
So I have no tattoos, but if I ever were to get one, it would be like a very cool script writing on the inside of like my forearm. Yeah. And it would say Serenity. Mostly because I do love Seinfeld and I just picture Kramer where there's an episode where he's like, Serenity now. Did you watch Seinfeld at all?
We did just watch it like last year, but I don't.
Serenity now. But no, it's really actually because my motto that I tell myself on a very regular basis is the Serenity Prayer. And I first read it when, I did read some books way back when.
Oh, here we are.
Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code, when it got really popular. It was a period of time where I traveled a lot for my job and I could not have internet the first 10,000 feet of the airplanes. And I was going through like People and Us Weekly, like way too much. They were expensive. So I bought the book and I read, and there's a portion of the Serenity Prayer that's in the Da Vinci Code book. Yeah. And it was, grant me the strength, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yeah. And so I say that a lot.
I like
when
it.
I have a situation where I'm just like, you know what, I need that strength to just understand the difference and then go from there.
Yep. Yeah. Letting go of what you cannot change, I think
It's huge.
definitely something I need to work on because
I tell myself that a lot, almost to the point where sometimes Dane's like, are you going to say anything about that? I'm like, if I do, is it going to change the outcome? He'll be like, probably not. I'm like, then no, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
If it's not going to change the outcome, I'm done. Nope.
All right.
It's over.
Negative relationships. So like cutting toxic people out of your life.
Probably a good thing. That's probably a behavior that should definitely be avoided.
Yeah. Is that something, I feel like that's probably not something you've had a whole lot of experience with. Just like where you're like, there's somebody so awful. I cut my mom out of my life.
That's true. You did. So you're like, well, if I can go there, anyone's on the chopping block.
But I mean, that was a hard one. And I held on to that for a lot longer than I should have because she's my mom.
Right. Right.
But it gets to a point where you're like, and I mean, we don't need to go into it, but it was a really bad situation where I'm like, this is not going to be good for me. It's not going to be good for my kids. You know, it just wasn't good for my overall well-being. There was no good there. And I've cut other people out as well. I'm a big proponent of cutting toxic people out of your life.
For sure. It's not healthy.
Yeah. No,
or
I've watched
advantageous
other
or worth
people
it,
hold
or-
on to a lot of those relationships where I'm just like, just get them out. And it's a lot of times that's a lot easier said than done.
It's probably almost always easier said than done.
Yep.
But
eventually you just get so fed up where it's like, this is draining, you know, my life so much or my energy so much where it's like, it's not worth it. So that's what I have to say about that.
I'm even trying to think of a moment where I've even had like somebody toxic in my life. I mean, the closest thing I could get to it is like, there's a good friend of mine. At one point, there was a period of time where there was the smallest like guilt trip. Like, well, why don't you call me? Or why I haven't seen you for a while? And I was just like, oh, well, if you're going to be needy and clingy, like.
See, I think your bullshit meter goes up a lot quicker than mine does.
Yeah.
Mine eventually kicks in
that
for
was
sure.
The
and
one
when I'm done,
thing
I'm done.
Yeah. All of a sudden I was just like, listen, it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. Like you can either, you know, it's not just me asking you, like, and that was, we're still friends, but there was that moment for a short period of time where I was like, okay, this is not going to go there.
Right. No, and when you and I became friends, I mean, I remember being like, I like that. I will see her when I see her. I will talk to her. You didn't like expect me to like, you weren't trying to like live in my skin.
No. Or like, I mean, that is the one thing with like the guilt trip from friends where it's like, why haven't you done this? I'm like, don't expect more things from me.
No,
like I have a full life. I'm an adult and I'm busy and I've got like, do I love spending time with you? Am I excited to see you? Yes.
Yep.
Do I hate it if it goes 6 to 12 months before we get to go to dinner again? I hate it. But guess what? That's life.
Yeah.
If you expect more from me than that, like,
no,
it's probably not going to work. But
no,
yeah,
I don't do needy.
I don't do toxic. No, I've actually been pretty lucky.
Yeah. Lack of self-care. This is not, I don't feel like this has been an issue for you at all. Okay. Has it been for me? Yes, absolutely.
No, I love me a good spa day.
God. Is that self-care to you? What's self-care?
That's a really good question because I think that's where people's minds immediately go to is like
taking a bath or
like and I hate baths, man. They're not my jam at all. But no, I think in my opinion, self-care is surrounding yourself with things that make you happy as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just like the things that make me happy are definitely different than say like what makes my husband happy or like the ways that I wind down or whatever, you know, like part of my self-care is doing tasks that I check off my list. Like that makes me feel happy and I feel productive. And like, that is part of self-care for me.
Yeah.
Do I also get a monthly massage now? Absolutely. Yeah. Otherwise my shoulders would be like trucker hitch notches, like all the time, knots all the time.
I think self-care sometimes gets a little blurry between like we said, the spa day.
Yeah.
Or the,
it doesn't have to cost
because
money.
it is also your physical well-being.
Yeah.
Taking care of yourself physically. And so, I mean, for me now going to the gym, I'm like, to me, that's just my little time to like you know, do I love everything I do at the gym? No, but it's something that I know I'm doing for me to make myself feel better.
Right. Sure.
So there's the physical, emotional, and mental well-being. I think a lot of people neglect, how's the brain doing?
Yeah.
Which I did that for a long time.
Part of your body, for sure. You know, there's things that you need to process.
Checking in with yourself. Hey, self, how are you doing?
What's that level of negative self-talk going on right now?
Right.
We need to turn that down a notch.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I think all those things are good.
Yep. Number 11. We're getting to the end.
Oh, we're getting there. Wow. Okay.
Making excuses.
I hate excuses.
I know you do. I love me a good excuse.
Just own it, man.
I've always been really bad at making it, like really bad. I make a lot of excuses.
Like what?
Just, you know, with like you met me at a time where like I had no interest in working out or taking care of that aspect of myself.
Right.
And it was all just like, there was a slew of reasons why I didn't do that. None of them were my fault. You know, I had little kids.
Yeah. People blame their kids a lot
yeah.
on stuff, and it drives me
Yeah.
nuts.
And really it was just that it was fear of failure. It was procrastination. It was, you know, all those things. So, but yeah.
Numbers 1 through 10 on the list.
Not taking ownership for anything in your life is making excuses.
100%. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Just own it.
Just own it.
Whatever it is, just own it. And it's fine. Be confident.
Right.
And just be like, it is what it is.
Quit being a little bitch.
That is you know what? We are going to get new shirts made for the website. Go get our merch at nachofitnesscoach.com. And we're going to have the logo on the front. And we're going to have Caleigh's like season 3 motto, which is just quit being a bitch across the back.
I tell myself several times throughout the day now when my alarm goes off at 5 o'clock in the morning and I don't want to get up.
Is that positive self-talk?
I think it might be.
It must be for you, I guess, in your head.
I think it might be.
Hey, if it works,
being
it works.
A little bitch. Because nobody wants to be a little bitch, you know?
No, just suck it up.
If I go back to sleep, I'm a little bitch. You know? Yeah. Do I want to be that?
No, nobody wants to be that.
Nobody wants that.
Oh, my word.
All right.
It's a good one. Okay. All right. So we got number 12. Is number 12. Like the best one? Save the best for last? Or
is the creme de la creme.
Okay.
It's fine. It's resistance to change.
That is a real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now listen, I love me a good routine. I love consistency. I love it when things don't change. However, I also feel like I do a pretty good job of recognizing when like something's not working and it needs to change.
Well, and then like I feel like from what I've seen, you just have like this jet come in and just crash everything. Which is great. I love that for you. No, and I'm the kind like I need structure and like routine. It doesn't come easily to me. I have to really, really work at it, but I need it in order to like function. And I want it so bad. I want everything to be like, I want to eat the same thing for breakfast and I want to do the same thing at 9 a.m. And I want to do I want my day to just be the same thing. But then once I do that, I'm like, I'm getting real bored. And now I want like chaos and which I think is kind of typical.
Swing the other way.
Yeah. I'm going to open a popcorn shop. Maybe you know what I mean? Something crazy. Something wild.
So why not? It's gourmet popcorn, by the way.
But resistance to change. Yeah. And I've seen this in both of my kids a lot. And I don't know what I did to cause them both to be this way. But like we need new couches. We've had the same couches since way before they were even born. And we were just kind of like, well, we had a dog, we have little kids. Like, we're not going to go buy new couches. But now, like, our kids are, growing up. We don't have a dog anymore. I'm like, we need new couches. And when you bring up getting a new couch to my kids, it's like tears.
Oh, I remember when my parents, when I was about their age, replaced the couch. And I was devastated. I remember before somebody came and picked it up, I like laid on it and I was bawling.
Oh my gosh. I don't have that.
Would I do that now? No. It must just be a period of time. I don't know. I did that same thing. I was about their same age. They got a new couch.
That's weird.
It's kind of weird.
I'm missing that chip, whatever that is.
It's not material for you.
I'm like, yeah.
I mean, for them, there's a bunch of memories that are tied to around that couch.
I'm
so,
like, get rid of them. They stink. They're stained.
Right,
Like,
no.
I have no attachment.
I'm sure a lot of it just has to be like, that's just what they're used to. And those are their memories. And they picture
I don't get
happen.
I don't get attached to things at all. So
I do.
I know you do.
I really do. But I also relate that a lot to the fact that my mind feels like it's on the go all of the time.
Yeah.
And so the moment I will stop to say, have a good memory about something, it's because I will physically see an item that will get my mind to stop racing for just that second. Like, oh, I remember when, whatever. So
I'm a picture taker.
I have a picture taker
that's
too.
where my memories kind of lie.
But I have that. I do have some objects, but I'm also
like if a physical thing needs to go, I don't care.
Yeah.
But
we're working on that in our house, but
Yeah.
my kids have got some things with change too. But I think some of it's just age related, honestly.
it's hard for me to be sympathetic to them when they
Are so irrational.
Anyway, that's not even what this is about. Resistance is like change in your life, embracing change and not being scared of it, which
People don't like change.
people don't like change. I don't know. I feel like, honestly,
I think it's good.
if me and my husband woke up tomorrow and he was like, let's move to a new town, I'd probably be okay with that. I'm just always up for like, all right, let's do something new. That's a little extreme. I would probably have some feelings, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably slightly resistant to change, mostly because I feel like I like the way the things are.
yeah.
But if there was something,
there's comfort
if
in
there
that.
was something broken, or where if I saw a problem, I would not be hell-bent on continuing to do the same thing if it wasn't working.
Not working, yeah.
So that's where I think there's a difference potentially, where it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm fine with change if it's solving a problem, or if it's good.
Yeah.
It's a change.
Change can be good.
Change can be good. So there we go. We made it
it's
through
all
all
of them.
12.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty good
I
time.
was surprised.
I'm really
because
proud of us.
I am too. I totally thought, I was like, oh, this is totally going to be a two-parter. We got 12 things. We're going to have to split this up, but we did it. Yay. Well, I like this article. I think it's really great. It's food for thought for sure, because it all plays into everything together.
Yep.
And it definitely is a part of it. So some things to consider.
Yeah. And I think even beyond like just the daily going to the gym or eating right, like I think these are the kind of things that have been on my mind over the last, definitely year. Is just like, what can I change about the way that I think to help on this journey?
Makes a big difference. Yep. It's all a part of it. So fabulous. All right. Well, that's it for today. Hackspirit.com, 12 behaviors to stop.
Yep.
Check it out. What do you do? What do you not do on the list?
Yeah.
Share with us. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to head over to our Instagram at Nacho Fitness Coach and let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. And if you like our podcast, leave us a rating. See you next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.